Okay, welcome everyone to the eighth session, eighth study skills session. This is our eighth session, and between this week and last week, we passed 800 subscribers. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, hit subscribe, trying to get as many as we can. And also, that's a way to make sure that you get, your weekly session, kind of in your YouTube feed, part of your subscriptions. So definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and hit the like button. Really helps us out. So today we're going to talk about developing your speaking skills, which is something a lot of my students ask about. It's probably the #1 concern with students, and it makes sense. I understand why it's the first. I understand why it's the first issue. So we might do a few videos about this. This is just kind of the first one. We might do it more in the future. The first thing I want to say is that it is possible. It's absolutely possible to improve your speaking, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. A lot of my students say, unless I go to the UK, unless I go to America, and I'm speaking with native people all the time, I can't improve my speaking. Now, it's true that, if you lived in America, if you lived in the UK, you would speak English more often. But don't think that just by being in Somaliland, that means that, your speaking is, impossible to improve. So today we'll talk about some ways to improve your speaking. Like I said, this is just one video, probably 2 or 3 videos about speaking. So, these are just some suggestions, and I'll come to you with more suggestions in time. So I want you to think about speaking in terms of there's 4 different parts. So speaking isn't just talking to someone. It's it can be, you can think of it in terms of these 4 things. It's fluency, which is your ability to kind of speak without stopping. Your ability to express your thoughts one after another. Now, somebody can have a good fluency, but maybe their grammar isn't that great. Some people can speak well, but it doesn't mean what they're saying is accurate. So that's why the second one down on the left is accuracy. People, even students that might sound advanced because they can speak, sometimes they make a lot of very basic problems, right? They say like, she have a class at 5 o'clock or something, but they can speak a lot, but they make very, they make a lot of mistakes. The third is range of vocabulary and grammar. So not using the same, not always speaking in present tense, being able to use past tense when you're speaking about the past, being able to use the correct form of the future tense when you're talking about the future. That's also part of speaking. And pronunciation, which I'm sure all of you are aware of what that is. Now, the basic point is that you can be stronger in certain parts of speaking and less strong in other parts. So, maybe you do have a good range of grammar, but your fluency is a little low. Or maybe you have good pronunciation, but your accuracy is a little low. So you can think of your speaking in terms of these 4 parts, and it will help you give a better understanding of what you need to practice. A lot of people, if they don't have fluency, if they can't speak, one idea after another without stopping, they think all of their speaking is bad. But maybe you have better accuracy than someone else. So, take some time, maybe pause the video if you're watching this after it's live, and try to think about what parts of speaking you're better at and what parts could use improvement, so that you can start to think about your own speaking in a different way. Here are some common issues that I hear my students say. They say, I speak too slowly because I'm translating from my own language. This is probably the most common. I know the rule and people correct me, but I still make the same mistakes. I often pause to think about what I want to say. And sometimes I feel frustrated because I can't express my ideas. And so we're going to address these issues in the coming videos of how to kind of work on these issues and how to try to, fix them, inshallah. Maybe some strategies to improve. The first thing is to record yourself and then listen to yourself and then fix the errors. It's a very simple idea, but it's probably the hardest thing to do. You'll notice if you're in a class with other students, it's easy to hear mistakes from other students for some reason. And when you make mistakes, it's hard to hear. But once you listen to yourself, you'll be surprised. It's actually easy to hear your mistakes if you listen to yourself, right? If you listen to a recording of yourself. So try speaking into your phone. Try recording yourself for, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, speaking about something very simple, speaking about family, speaking about your favorite food, your favorite restaurant, something you can speak easily about, and then listen to it back and write down what you think is wrong from what you hear. It can really, really help. That's the first suggestion I have. The second thing, I tell my students all the time, let your phone correct you. So all phones have some sort of recording device built into the keypad. So if you look at what my mouse is kind of going around right now, this button, I may not look exactly the same. This is an iPhone. But if you go into like a notes section on your phone, something where you can just write something easily, press the record button and speak, the phone will write what you say, right? So, if I was to do this right now and I press the button and I said, hello, how are you? I'm fine. The phone would write, hello, how are you? I'm fine. So this is something we can use to our advantage. So you can take anything, you can take maybe a reading from your textbook, you can take a newspaper article, or you can just speak generally. But you can read that into your phone while it's recording, and then you can compare what the book says versus what the phone says. So if the phone and the book are 100% correct, it means your pronunciation was great. If there's certain words that are different, you know exactly what kind of problems you have. So I think technology is really makes it much easier to learn a language in today's world. So that is a really good tool for pronunciation. The next suggestion is to memorize dialogues. If you take something from Netflix or YouTube or some other kind of source, it can be helpful for your speaking. It's nice because you're listening to native speakers speak, and you're imitating people from those countries, from America or from the UK. And also, that the vocabulary and grammar will be useful. Like it's something that it's grammar and vocabulary that people use. And I'll give you an example. There's a YouTube conversation called Past Tense Conversation Practice. There's a lot of different things like this where they kind of speak only in past tense, for example, and they'll have the subtitles and you can kind of practice those conversations. This is also something we're planning on doing at Northstar College, so keep your eyes out for some Northstar College students doing some of these dialogues. But if you take like a 1 minute, 2 minute, this video is a little long, it's about 7 minutes long, but if you take like a 1 minute or 2 minute sample and you try to memorize it, you can really start to grow. You start to expand your vocabulary, expand your grammar into things that are very useful. These are, and like I said, we're planning on doing these on the YouTube channel here at Northstar. So keep your eyes out for those. Great. And then the last suggestion for today is to try a challenge with your friends. So if you have some friends, hopefully you have maybe 2 or 3 friends or family members that have a similar level of English to you or better. it can be hard to speak English if you both speak the same language. If you both speak Somali, it's very easy just to go back to Somali, if you're having difficulty. But give yourself maybe like a 3-minute time limit. We're going to have a conversation, and no matter how hard it is, we're going to speak English for these 3 minutes. And you just try to struggle. And then if you take if that becomes easy for you, try to do like 5 minutes, right? And then every week, if you have a little conversation practice, maybe you're speaking in English for a half hour or something, and you don't realize it. So you can try to turn it into a little bit of a game, trying to see who can speak English the longest, or if somebody can't make the 3 minutes, they're out of the game or something like that. You can try to make it kind of fun between you and your friends and your family, inshallah. So yeah, so that's it for today. That's my little short study skills reminder for speaking. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll have weekly study skills videos for you, inshallah, every Tuesday live at 5 p.m. All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Have a great day, everyone.